The First Shogun's General, Part 11. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Another thing, this story is not AI generated. It was typed up by my own hand. Enjoy the story. Chapter 24. Training on Mount Sagiri. Part 1. POV Yoshitsune. My children and I all followed the kid as he led us to a small clearing where in the middle sat the boulder. I had seen every single boulder Sakonji used for his students, and I can say with confidence that this is the largest boulder of them all. Looking to the back, I heard Michikatsu mutter, "Only this big? Back in my day, our boulders were twice as big as that one, while the one I had to cut was twice as big as the ones we cut back then." I mentally chuckled at hearing this and seeing Fuji rubbing her love's back, soothing him. There, she said softly as she continued speaking. This just means that the youth are better protected than 400 years ago. Isn't that a good thing, my love? Michikatsu looked at Fuji and smiled while nodding his head as the two lovebirds stared lovingly into the other's eyes. They really love each other, huh? I thought with a sweat drop. Looking on at the scene before me, I knew I would have to break it up so that they could all start training. Michikatsu, Fuji, training time, remember? I said in my father voice. It worked, as the two separated and said, "Understood, father," as I looked back towards the kid. "All right, kid. I'm going to be explaining how I am going to train you before you go over towards Michikatsu's training, that he will explain himself. Understood?" I asked him as he nodded his head. "Yes, Yoshitsune-sensei," he chirped enthusiastically. I smiled a little at the kid's enthusiasm. "All right. Now listen closely, for I will only be saying this once. I will train your physique. This includes your physical strength, speed, endurance, stamina, and durability." I explained as the kid nodded before I looked back, and nodded to Michikatsu, signaling him to explain his regiment of training. POV Michikatsu. Seeing father's nod, I left Fuji-chan's side and appeared by father's side in a show of speed. "Let's see how you react to that, Kamado Tanjiro," I thought, for my demonstration was a test to see how young Kamado will respond to seeing one of the world's current strongest beings. Young Kamado's eyes widened, but he didn't say anything. "Good," I thought in approval. "You have seen how far away you are from being at my level, but you do not despair. Your resolve only increase." I thought in pride at seeing another human like this. Humans like young Kamado are rare nowadays. It's good to see that these types of humans still exist. Clearing my throat to draw attention towards myself, I began. "Young Kamado, I shall be teaching you a few things. The first of them is about everything breathing related. The second is swordsmanship. The third and final thing is the history of the Demon Slayer Corps." I explained as I noticed father's surprised expression. He most likely thought I wouldn't talk about the Corps' mixed history. For while the Demon Slayers of the Breathing Corps have fought against demons, they haven't always been the most morally sound of people. I shook my head, dispersing those thoughts. No need to think about the past right now. It will only hold me back from training to my fullest, and training young Kamado to his fullest. Looking at young Kamado's surprised expression, I explained, I'm teaching you the history of the Corps so that you know that while the Corps' duty is to kill demons, that doesn't mean that morals have not been tossed aside to fulfill that duty. Seeing young Kamado's look of confusion, I sighed. He is too innocent, I thought in resignation. Young Kamado will listen to what I have to say about the Corps and then completely discard what I said about the Corps because it was all in the past. Looking at Father, I nodded to him, signaling back that I was done, and he could take over again as I reappeared by my Fuji-chan's side. POV, Yoshitsune. Seeing the signal Michikatsu gave me to take over again, I turned towards the kid and spoke. Now that you know what you'll be doing, it's time to start training. Your first session will be with me before moving on to Michikatsu's. Saying this, I appeared in front of the kid and spoke. Lesson 1. Dodging. I karate chopped the kid on the head as he fell on the ground, rubbing his while he muttered, "Ouch." Time. Skip 1 week. POV Tanjiro. Hey, Nezuko. So it's been a week now since I begun my training under Yoshitsune-sensei and Michikatsu-sensei. On the first day, Yoshitsune-sensei karate chopped me on the head. I was supposed to dodge, but I didn't, and fell to ground because of it. After I got up, Yoshitsune-sensei had me try and dodge his strikes. I couldn't, though. He was just too fast for me to even react to his strikes at all. But I didn't give up. I didn't manage to dodge any of his strikes, but he said that I had already started improving after we were done with training. Next up, I went to Michikatsu-sensei as he trained me in harnessing the power to breath properly. Train until death, he told me. While it was terrifying hearing that I did as instructed, it hurt so much, but I pushed through the pain. After an hour, he said I could stop. I was exhausted, but I wasn't done yet. Michikatsu-sensei gave me some tea and udon to eat. After I was done eating, he taught me about the history of the Demon Slayer Corps. I was shocked to find out that there have been 3 different Demon Slayer Corps in history. I was even more shocked, though, when Michikatsu-sensei told me that the second Corps, the Technique Corps, were friends of Yoshitsune-sensei. Apparently, he lived in the same era they were active and witnessed the Corps' downfall personally. I felt sad knowing this fact. By the way Michikatsu-sensei said it, Yoshitsune-sensei had to witness his friends' deaths in person. What a horrible thing to bear witness to. Michikatsu-sensei, though, continued on to tell me that all 3 Corps were led by different groups of people. The first Corps leaders were all unknown, as neither Michikatsu or Yoshitsune-sensei were alive when the Corps was active. He did tell me what they were like, as little as he knew about him. The second Corps leaders, Michikatsu-sensei only knew of 2, and spoke with much respect for them. When I asked him about that, he said that he had read the 2 leaders' personal journals. Apparently, the second leader, Ko Nagareru, is considered by both Michikatsu and Yoshitsune-sensei to be the greatest swordsman to ever live, while the third leader, Shu Asahi, is considered to be the strongest demon slayer to ever live, according to Michikatsu and Yoshitsune Sensei. The third and current Corps leader is apparently from a clan descended from Muzan that were cursed. Now they fight against Muzan. I thought it was quite noble before learning that they tell all demon slayers that they are the only demon slayer corps to exist, completely writing off the other two. Michikatsu Sensei told me that he didn't know why they said and do this, but had some theories about why they did it. He didn't share those theories with me, though, saying that they're just theories, not facts. While I agree, it doesn't mean I don't want to hear his theories on why the Ubuyashiki clan says they're the only corps. It was on the second day of training that I learned that Michikatsu Sensei was once a part of the breathing corps. He confessed to being a traitor, and that until about 9 months ago, he was Muzan's second in command, Upper Moon, one of the Juni no Kizuki. I was confused about what the Juni no Kizuki were, so Michikatsu Sensei explained that they were the 12 strongest demons under Muzan. When he explained how they were all ranked, I asked how strong he was compared to Muzan. Michikatsu Sensei scoffed and said, "Back then, he considered me to be more of a business partner than a direct subordinate. While I wasn't as strong as he was back then. Now, though, I'm much stronger than I was then when I served him. If you're asking if I think I can beat the current Muzan, the answer is yes, I can." I was shocked beyond belief. When I asked how strong Yoshitsune Sensei was, Michikatsu Sensei smiled. "Stronger than me, much stronger than me," which means that Yoshitsune Sensei is stronger than Muzan. Though something did puzzle me about what Michikatsu Sensei said. He said, "The current Muzan, so does that mean that Muzan isn't at his strongest right now?" When I asked this, Michikatsu Sensei winced. "Yes, you're correct. Father," he calls Yoshitsune Sensei father, "could better explain it to you than I. Just know that the Kibutsuji Muzan of today is a pathetic insect compared to the Kibutsuji Muzan of 468 years ago." 468 years. When Michikatsu Sensei was turned into a demon, and when Yoriichi gave our family his Hanafuda earrings. Next was day 3, as I asked Yoshitsune Sensei about Muzan. He told me that the Muzan he knows is different than the current Muzan. He said that the current Muzan is Muzan's formerly repressed human part of him, while the Muzan of 468 years ago and further back was the true Muzan. When I asked what the differences were, Yoshitsune Sensei told me that false Muzan is a coward and has no battle IQ whatsoever. While father, that's what Yoshitsune Sensei calls true Muzan. Apparently, true Muzan, adopted Yoshitsune Sensei, was a genius at battle and had zero cowardice whatsoever. Then later, during my history lesson with Michikatsu Sensei, I asked about what his position was in the Demon Slayer Corps. He told me that he was a part of the first generation of Hashira, the Moon Hashira, the second strongest Hashira to ever live. though he told me not to be impressed by that, as while he is the second strongest Hashira, he is not the second strongest demon slayer, as that title goes to Waka Ikazuchi. He told me that in the long-term scaling of things, as he was then, he would not even be in the top 15 of the strongest. When I asked him about how he is, now he smiled and said that, as I am now, I'm probably the 6th strongest, with Yorichi being the 7th or 8th strongest. Hearing this, I wasn't too surprised, though when Michikatsu-sensei explained that Yorichi is remembered as the strongest demon slayer in history, I understood how big of a deal it was to be stronger than him now. The 4th day didn't really have any big revelations about anything, while on the 5th day I learned who Fuji-san is. She is actually the conscience of Mount Fuji. Apparently, True Muzan wanted to see if he could turn Fuji-san into a demon. Instead, he only gave her a conscience. The 6th day was the day I finally managed to react to one of Yoshitsune-sensei's strikes. I couldn't dodge it, but I could react to it now. Now it is the end of the 7th day, and today, Michikatsu-sensei told me about final selection and how it actually was founded. Apparently, Michikatsu-sensei made a bet with the first Thunder Hashira, who was drunk that he could capture more demons than him. Apparently, this competition ended with Michikatsu-sensei winning, but the Corps then had over 300 captured demons. So the first Wind Hashira suggested they be trapped on Mount Fujikasane, and then trainees who wish to be demon slayers have to survive there for 7 days and 7 nights to become demon slayers. Michikatsu-sensei opposed this, though, as well as Yoriichi, but all the others agreed, and thus final selection was born. Well, this is the end of this entry of how my first week went with training under Michikatsu and Yoshitsune-sensei. I hope you wake up soon, Nezuko. Chapter 25. Training on Met. Sagiri, Part 2. Time, skip 2 months. POV. Tanjiro. Hey, Nezuko. This is another journal entry for you. It's about the 2 months I have been in training for. After the last entry I made, Yoshitsune-sensei started splitting the time of his training. Instead of dodging being the only thing I train in, he now trains me with exercises meant to increase my speed, reflexes, and physical strength. Whereas Michikatsu-sensei started training me in swordsmanship at the end of the 2nd week. Before he did this, he demonstrated to me his swordsmanship. It was beautiful, powerful, and deadly. Though when I learned that he was holding back so that he wouldn't destroy the training area, I was in shock. He was holding back? When I asked him how much he was holding back, he told me that he restrained himself to the level he was at when he was Upper Moon 1. I didn't know what to think at first, but I wouldn't let this deter me. After the demonstration, he trained me in his brother's breathing style, Sun. Breathing. It was difficult at first because I could barely move after it all. But Michikatsu-sensei already said that I was doing better than everyone else he had seen try to learn sun breathing, including himself. Afterwards, the history lesson he gave me was about slightly darker topics than usual. He told me about how when he was part of the Demon Slayers, The other Hashira, not including him and his brother, would go out certain missions, but wouldn't say anything other than, "Just a regular demon. No need for concern." He told me that after True Muzan turned him into a demon, he discovered just what those so-called missions were. When I first heard what Michikatsu-sensei said, I was in denial. Surely humans couldn't be that cruel. Surely those who fight against demons would never do that to fellow humans. Those Hashira went out on missions of killing humans that had either demonic traits or just had an unusual abnormality. People who had white hair, people with marks similar to mine, people who had fangs, people who healed slightly faster than normal. The list went on and on. I felt sick hearing it all. I wanted to throw up so badly as I heard about what they did to those people. I at first argued that the current course wasn't the course Michikatsu-sensei was a part of. To my surprise, Michikatsu-sensei agreed with me, but then he told me about more recent course atrocities that caused his own sensei, Urokodaki-san, to retire from being a Hashira. Michikatsu-sensei told me that Urokodaki-san had never done those things. He just found out about them and decided to teach instead. He said not to bring what he had said up with Urokodaki-san, as it was a highly sensitive subject that almost caused him to quit from the Corps entirely. I agreed and swore I would never bring it up with him. Michikatsu-sensei then said that the current leader of the Demon Slayer Corps is probably, morally, the best one they have had in centuries. Not since the beginning of the Edo period. Then the third week had started. Yoshitsune-sensei's training was brutal, but I managed to complete it to move on to Michikatsu-sensei's training in sun breathing. By the end of the third week, I had already got Form 1, Dance Down. The history of that week was a lighter topic about the Technique Corps and how they operated. Michikatsu-sensei did throw in some of his stories from when he was a demon slayer about when certain topics would come up, and sometimes the stories acted as a comparison. Other times the stories acted as warnings. The next 2 weeks of training all sort of blend in together, mainly because of the fact that nothing new happened other than learning Forms 2 and 3. The history was about how some of the demon slayers that joined the Corps didn't realize that some of those demon attacks their family suffered were, in fact, caused by the demon slayers. He said that those demon slayers quit the Corps but wouldn't become demons. They just blended back into society. Killing demons on their own, and killing certain demon slayers that were more about wealth, fame, and power, rather than protecting humanity and killing demons. When Michikatsu-sensei told me that I would find more demon slayers fighting for those reasons than I would for the reasons I'm fighting for, I felt my heart sink. But then he said that there would be some demon slayers that never wanted to fight but do anyway out of gratitude to their saviors. I felt my heart lighten in that moment, though then it sunk even further than before, when Michikatsu-sensei said that there were the rare few who fought demons to challenge themselves and grow stronger, 'cause it was fun. My right eyebrow had never twitched so much before in my life when I heard those words. Though Michikatsu then said not to discriminate them as most often do, find other reasons to fight demons later on. They just start out doing it with reasons many wouldn't agree with. I agreed with Michikatsu sensei and asked which one he was. He sighed and said he was the one who fought demons to grow stronger than Yorichi. I wasn't as shocked as I thought I would be, but looking back on everything I had learned, it made sense. Michikatsu sensei was very strict and argued that he was that way so that I was fully prepared to fight against demons, and not, as he called it, just thrown into the grinder and hope you survive. I understood afterwards, but it didn't mean that it wasn't exhausting. The next 3 weeks also all blurred seamlessly together, though I did learn forms 4 through 6, along with finally being able to dodge one of Yoshitsune sensei's strikes. Barely. Michikatsu sensei also taught me about the Demon Slayer Corps' history of lacking in hand-to-hand combat. He told me that Yoshitsune sensei would be the one to work on that with me, and that he was just giving him a heads up for future training. Other than that, I learned about other secrets of the Demon Slayer Corps. Certain village burnings that were blamed on other daimyo, when in reality it was the Demon Slayer Corps covering their tracks or burning the village down, just because it was suspected of harboring a demon. When no proof came up that a demon had been in the village the slayers assigned, would just shrug and move on with their day. It was disgusting, and I have slowly stopped seeing the demon slayers as the so-called good guys, but instead as a group whose sole purpose has been corrupted. When I asked if certain people got in the Demon Slayer Corps, the answer I received was yes. When I asked if he knew of any in the current corps, all Michikatsu sensei said that there was a few, until they had been, ironically, caught red-handed by demons and killed. To his current knowledge, they were the last of those people in the corps. I felt a great amount of relief at hearing those words, and I then made a promise to myself. I would kill any of those people if I ever came across them, even if they were in the Demon Slayer Corps, even if it would hurt his heart to do so. He would, to protect the ones that they would hurt and kill. Well, that's the end of this entry about the 2 months training, Nezuko. I hope you wake up soon. I know now that there's nothing wrong with you, but still, please wake up, Nezuko.